Hello, folks, and welcome. It's time for the Choo Choo podcast. With me, John. With me this week is LV. LV, how are you doing over there?
Hello, doing great. And I'm here today, back inside. The sun is bright out there, it's scary.
That's good.
Yeah.
And here, for the first time in a while, not to throw shade, I'm just saying, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Franny, hello, how are you?
Good, it's me, Franny. I'm in new spaces, there are new changes, new stuff happening. It's good to be back.
What kind of stuff? What's going on with you?
I just moved. I had roommates before, now I don't have roommates, so I kind of have, a little space to myself. I'm going to be doing a lot more, writing a lot more, stuff like that.
That's good. I don't mean to dox you or anything, but are you like in the same area? Did you move far away? What kind of move was it?
I'm like 10 minutes away from my old place.
Okay.
So the move was really easy, but it's kind of like a completely different neighborhood, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good. That's a nice, quick, easy move, At least you're not, moving halfway across the country in your shitty mom car. No. It's all good.
That comes later, I think.
Sure, yeah. I mean, maybe you will, maybe you won't. It's all about the journey. We're all living. We're all going through. It has been quite a week of news. A lot of stuff happened. We could, but I do want to check in with y'all. I want to hear what's been going on. LV, you actually this past week had a little night out on the town. You hung out with one of the other Chooch folks. Do you want to tell us how that went?
Yeah. It's incredibly funny that this entire time, Maverick and I, who's not here to speak for himself, so not gonna accidentally cross any lines, but we kind of live around the same neighborhood, if not literally just the same neighborhood, and we never cross paths at all this whole time. And funnily enough, especially people like watch or follow, our other crew members, like own streams, like follow Chorby /Solon. Maverick like went over there like before I ever met him, all the way on that side of the fence of the United States on the West Coast.
He sure did.
He sure did, and you probably ran into him too, Franny.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure, and that looked fun. But it was fun. It was fun. We hung out. We saw a Tim Heidecker show, Thursday night. Today's Saturday as we were recording this. And it was great. It was a blast. I did not know what to expect. He never knew what to expect. Like, I wasn't sure, like, am I just going to see is this a comedy show? Is this a concert? And it was both. It was both. He did, if you're familiar with his past work, it's like he starts off with his in-character bit. And then it just becomes like a nice sentimental, like, dad music concert. It's great. It was wonderful. It was also a very good crowd. He was very genuine, like, was very much listening in on, like, people riffing and responding to them. It was just very good. It just felt very, very casual. And it was very clear that, yeah, this is just someone who, like wants to do music in addition to, like, all the other things he does. And it was just very interesting to see that contrast. Like, I was familiar with his music in the past, but, like, not to the extent of, like, how much he played, et cetera. Like, he literally forgot lyrics to his own songs, and that was extremely funny, and just rolled with it. Like, and it was just like, oh, okay, and it's like not, like, again, this is not your main bit. This is not your main thing, so it was just, but yeah, it was just fun. It definitely felt like there was, like, a lot of heart there that I think, it takes, the medium of music to express very differently from, just being a constantly satirical character all the time. Like, I'm sure that's probably exhausting to an extent, if you're just, that's just what people know you as, and like, oh, here's now like a different side of me, and here's the more sensitive side of me. So yeah, that was cool. That was fun. And it's fun to hang out with each other. We were all great pals here. And again, extremely funny that it took something like that to have this fateful convergence of gamers.
Damn, Tim Heidecker really brought you together.
Yeah, the Beast Coast, choo-choo, side of things. Yeah, it was great. It was great. And it was also very stormy on the way there, so wonderful, wet, rainy day into the cold of, like, some lounge concert place. But, like, yeah, it was all good times.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about going to the one when he comes down to Austin. So that sounds like a good time. I'm glad you all
I
had
think
fun.
it'll be good. It'll be good, and it definitely feels like a show that does depend on the crowd too. Where if there are people there who are really into it, like really positive, and like I feel like at this point it's like, okay, people know who this man is. They're not like, these are not people paying to go to and not knowing what the fuck this is. Like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah,
especially when he's in character and it's like, this is not funny, but that's the point. That's the bit. He's like making fun of like divorced dad energy and just like horrible comedians. But like, these are very much like the people going know who this man is and like get his sense of humor and like what his thing is. So I think it will definitely be worth it if you're able to. Like, I felt very comfortable too, and like I just kept, Maverick and I kept masked up, and I felt safe with that. Triple vaxxed over here, not to show off. I don't know. At some point, I feel like I have to get quadrupled when that becomes available for everyone. But it's a good time if you feel comfortable and available to go to it. At this point in my mind, like I feel generally safe to go to some live shows, which I haven't in a long time, and that was it is interesting. That was kind of like my first one, I think, in a while. And we were so close up front. Oh yeah, that was an important thing I need to know. I was literally in front. I was surprised, and I guess it also has to do with maybe some venues are still doing ticket caps, which is a good thing. Or in general, again, like the awareness of some people not going to things as much yet still. So there was like a lot of decent standing room. Like it felt like a generally packed venue, but it still felt roomy enough where I didn't feel like I'm being crushed by like a person much taller than me, and that was wonderful. That was like great. I wish every event, convention just had very comfortable standing room, comfortable walking room. Like, please, if the pandemic has taught anyone anything and nothing else, shows need to stop being so crowded for no reason. And yeah, we were very close. Like, he was just directly in front of us, and we, that night, as some of us have seen and shared, like, within our group chats, like, Maverick might have been caught in, like, a pro shot photo. So yeah, who knows? Like, yeah, there were videographers so close to us, because I think this was his first show of the leg, so that was cool. But there were so many, like, photographers and videographers, so we might be cameo in like, a pro shot video footage of the show. So who's to say? Maverick again is already in one photo, the back of his head. So we're famous. We're out there. We're getting out there.
I'm excited to see if y'all are in the movie.
In the movie, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows what that footage is gonna be used for?
The YouTube upload. I don't know. Yeah, whatever it is.
The movies.
I mean, Tim puts a lot of stuff out on Patreon, so it might be like a Patreon thing, for the Office Hours Patreon that he has. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah.
Franny, I just to kind of touch base with you, I know that you go to a lot of like wrestling events and stuff and take pictures. What's some stuff that you've done recently?
Let's see, recently, so I've been shooting ringside at SOS in Seattle. Well, now it's moving to Tacoma. And that's mainly because the event space that they were at before is closing down, which is a shame because the Hales Palladium is like gorgeous and it's like huge, and there's a big stage and there's like weird lights everywhere and crazy decorations. So that's a shame, but we found a new spot. So I'm going to keep doing that. The next show is in May, here in Tacoma. So I've been doing that. We've been going to, my friend and I have been going to a couple of other shows, like Defy in Seattle, and, stuff like that. We're also, I believe, seeing Tim Heidecker in, July, so that's going to be fun.
It's just...
we're all going to his
We're all
tour.
just going to this man, yeah.
He's really a century man. He just covers the whole fucking spectrum of just the human experience, so I'm very excited to see him live. I've been catching up with On Cinema. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like the whole Chooch crew. We are a lot of us are probably we probably grew up with
just
Tim Merrick and stuff like that. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Well, I haven't been doing jack shit, so I don't
That's
have anything to
fine.
catch up.
I love that for
I've
you.
just been working.
That sounds so
I've just
relaxing.
been working. I mean, you know, I've been working a lot. That's basically it. But
you've been like retro game hunting though. You've been getting some interesting finds. Like I don't know, maybe you might be talking about it in a bit if you ever
maybe
if you opened up any of them yet or tried them. But
oh, you know what? I have got. Maybe I should talk about some of that stuff. You know what?
that'd be,
I have gotten a couple of things. So
I guess my one question, I guess, like for you is like, so are you like meeting up people? Like, how does this work? Is it like swapping events? Like, how is it just literally like you gotta go to a place and you just meet a person? Like, here, take my money, get the thing. Is it just purely that, like, or are there like actual events or something, swap meets that go on for these things?
I would like to go to swap meets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been tomorrow actually. I've been thinking about maybe going to the flea market. Because, you know, it'll be before work, so I can do that before I go in. But wait, no, it's Easter Sunday. Maybe it won't be open.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. But I could do it next week. Really, what the best things to do these days is to just ask your friends what they got. Just be like, yo, you got anything you want to get rid of? Because at this point, it's so expensive otherwise.
Right.
You know, and I don't mean to say like, hey, you should take advantage of your friend's kindness, because you shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't. But at the same time, like I would if I'm gonna sell something to a friend, I would absolutely give them a deal, and I would hope that the same would be for me as well. You know, like, hey, I'm not gonna charge you $70 for this game because it's old, and I'm not gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, you've been sharing like screens occasionally, people just pricing things that should not be that high.
Nuts. Absolutely, yes. But recently I've gotten a couple of cool things. So one thing I got, which was just like a few things have just been kind of like nice gifts. My buddy Matt sent me. He had the box and the like special edition stuff for SMT4, and since I've like fallen so in love with Shin Megami Tensei recently, it was just like it was just kind of sitting around his house, so he just sent it to me. Just very nice. And so now I have that like really nice art book and the like soundtrack CD that's not, I don't think any of those songs are on the game soundtrack actually. I think they're like unique songs, which is pretty cool. And just like this big old SMT4 box that's up there now. I also was sent, I did pay a little bit for it. I got sent from another friend the limited edition of Hyperdimension Neptunia, the original one. And I'll be honest, I kind of just jumped on it because they were just like, hey, I'm just going to send this to somebody if they want it. And I was like, does anyone else want it? And nobody wanted it. And so I was just like, oh, okay. Sure. So I just dropped like, $20 for shipping, and that was that. And, like, it's nice. I got to friggin' crack it open. It was in the shrink wrap, so that was cool. And then recently I did go, just hunting a little bit. I found a copy of, Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter, which is a PS2 game by Capcom. It's nothing like the other Breath of Fire games if you played them. This one is like if you know how Parasite Eve works, it's kind of like that. Where it's got like that, like you're in the 3D field and you move around like in a circle, and you can do a certain number of attacks based on like how many points you have.
Right, and, there's like a kind of like a track in a way, but you're still able to like, yeah.
But the really interesting thing about this though is that it has the like Dead Rising leveling functionality, if you recall that, where like if you die or if you, I don't think you necessarily want to die, but there's an option, there's a constant option in the game that like if you run into a point of the game where it's too hard, you just restart the game, but you keep all your levels. And it's a short RPG. I think if folks have watched, I don't know if Solon streamed it, but when I did post about it, Solon did immediately go, oh fuck yes, you got that game. So it's definitely one of those like off the beaten path RPGs that has its own gimmicks and is very like odd, but it's trying something new. And I got it for like $25, and it was just one of those things where like I had recently seen people talking about it, and I absolutely thought it was going to be way more expensive than it was, just because, again, it's a PS2 RPG, and I saw people talking about it. So in my mind, I was just like, all right, I should pick this up now, because if there's going to be some kind of like reevaluation of this game in the next like few months, and people go out in droves to pick it up, I'm going to get it now.
Right.
And hell, even if not, I got it now, and
Yeah.
I can at least, make up my own mind about how I feel about it, and, maybe I can tell folks how I feel, and see if the other people out there would like it to get it while it's, still cheap. From what I have seen, though, the best places to go are those kinds of swap meets like you mentioned. There is going to be a retro games, like, event in July, actually.
Oh,
which
hell yeah.
I am going to have to figure that out, because I am planning on going to Anime Expo in early July.
Ooh, yeah.
But the arcade I work for is actually sponsoring the event.
Oh.
So
yeah,
they might
like a
little bit of obligation there, I think.
They might even be there. I might be going there for work anyway. So I might just be going there to just like working, and then
work a booth or table.
Yeah, and then during my downtime, I could just go around and look,
that'd be
and
cool
pick some stuff
they
up.
Cover for you, yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean that's my retro game journey currently. I would say it's still way too expensive and frustrating to mess around with. But sometimes you find something good, or sometimes a buddy just hooks you up, and it's great. And so again, I just believe that we should all just help each other out. If you've got a game that you're looking for, we all gotta help each other out. Let's undercut those greedy bastards out there hoarding all the games.
Well, and
games
also
for everyone.
It's garage sale season too. So like you never know. You could find a little garage sale where it's like they don't really super know what they've got. Or they
just
do,
want to
and
get
they're
rid of
just
stuff.
trying. Yeah, and it's like, it could be like, my mom throwing out my N64 when I was in high school. It was kind of a collaborative thing. It was more like in middle school where I was like, kind of had fallen out of it, and then like now years later, I'm like, damn, that would have been nice. I had like Donkey Kong Country, I had like Banjo-Kazooie, I had like everything. So, you could find some good deals there, too. I always like looking at garage sales and just local stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, with the weather getting warmer around these parts, it's like, yep, everyone's just like on their stoop, on their like the sidewalk, coming out of their apartments and just hanging up whatever clothes they got, bins of toys, all these things.
I love that. Yeah,
everyone trying to sell their if someone developed an art hobby, they're selling their paintings. It rocks. It's like, yeah, look at you. Yeah, yeah, you're proud of your stuff. No, it's great. Yeah, I that's definitely a thing to look into. Yeah, like and your whole point too about people probably not realizing, oh, this probably has like a lot of value, but their mindset really is just I need to clean this fucking house again. Piles, they have piles like I do.
Yep.
that need to be depiled.
It could be like a conscious choice too. I got like an old Polaroid from this like a vintage shop over in this very small town about 30 minutes away from me. And she said, I know how much this is worth, but I'm selling it for $30. And I went, you're an angel.
Wow. Yeah.
So, some people are just trying to be good.
Yeah. But also, sometimes you go out there and you're like, oh, wow, this is a game that is $100 and it's $30 here. And then you flip it, and that's good too.
Yeah. We're all just trying to make it out here.
Yeah.
Look, I did that before, but I did actually still undercut the going rate. Like it was a while ago. I found that like a DS game, the game that's basically Animal Crossing but not. It's like the magical school game. I don't remember exactly what it's called.
Yeah.
I found that for like $25, and that's like $100 and something game. And I tried it. I genuinely wanted to give it a go. It didn't really click with me. So I flipped it on eBay, and again, I undercut
Yeah,
it.
it's out of
So
print,
like,
yeah.
I think I sold it for like $75 instead of like
Okay.
100 something.
Right,
But
right.
That's still good.
yeah, it's all about that. So I think we can go ahead and hit up the news if you all would like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah.
So we got a
Quite
lot of stuff.
Oh.
Got a lot of stuff here.
a whirlwind of emotions.
It's been just a silly little week.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's silly is definitely the word. A silly little week, yes.
I mean, this is basically like separated into the good, the bad, and the furry on the list here. What do you think we should hit first? Do we want to tackle the hard stuff first, or how are we feeling?
Let's go hard.
Yeah, let's go hard first.
Let's go hard.
Let's end it. Let's end it on a fun note. Let's end us all on like a bombastic fun note. Yeah.
All right, we can just go ahead and start up with the Activision Blizzard minute. Of course.
God, more than a minute, really.
Yeah, let's go.
The half an hour, most likely. So we first off start. I don't know. There's so much stuff that happened. I was gonna say what happened first, but God, what just a cavalcade
all at once.
Yeah. So there was a new hire for a diversity, equity, and inclusion officer named Kirsten Hines, who is saying that she does want to make progress with the company. There's just a lot of talk about all the stuff that's been going on at Activision Blizzard. I can't even begin to
enumerate.
Yeah.
The ever-evolving Activision Blizzard catastrophe.
Mm-hmm. And this is following up the story last week where there were the new QA employees that were brought up to full-time, but that was still basically being used as a union-busting tactic for the Raven Union.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all that. But then there was a story recently uncovered by Jason Schreier, of course, that reveals that the chief counsel for the state of California that has been working on the Activision Blizzard case resigned this past week because basically just because the governor Gavin Newsom has been meddling in the lawsuit for Activision's gain.
Yeah. And that's just something I wouldn't have thought up myself.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. This is a huge company. But just why?
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts.
Yeah. And I'm kind of aware of a lot of the problems with Newsom's administration. And again, I don't live there. I don't live in California, but I'm just aware from a lot of people who I know who do and who who very much are leftist and left wing or at least leftist in terms of politics, and just a lot of shit on him and just so many problems. And there's the whole thing about where he barely survived a recall election, some months ago or so ago, to survive into having a second term. Because of there's legitimate criticism over him. There's a lot of scandals. I think there was sexual harassment allegations over him recently too. There's just a lot of stuff that's just just horrible. Classic democratic interest. For corporate interest. Classic liberal interest in prioritizing corporate interest over people, right? As opposed to anything else. And it's just oh man, just. But meanwhile, again, just a frustrating situation where, the other guy is much worse, and we don't want that other guy to be the governor. So, yeah, it definitely seems to be a staple and just recurring issue across blue politically aligned states, and just again examples of unfortunately these sorts of leadership where
just stuff that's generally corrupt.
Yeah. It's just, oh God, yeah. Just the issue of oh man, it's just deeper. And again, you can't just rely on political party labels, and you actually legitimately have to look at people's history and what they're saying, what they're doing, And again, that's unfortunately, like, something that, at least in regards to this specific issue, right, we're talking about, like, that really just relies on, like, what the community of California, and how, like what are they going to do, what are they going to do about it, or, like, how would they respond to that? And California, too, in particular, being, like, I think, like, if you look at a lot of, like, other states in the United States, it's the problem of it being too big that carries over into politics, right? The problem of it being too big, like, like what is like stuff like gerrymandering and just way too much of a divide between different communities because of how fucking big the state is. So, yeah, I think unfortunately it does rest in those hands, but I think it's very clear now, it's just very apparent, like, how, like, this is so dirty, this is so bad, and I'm just very curious to see where more of this goes and develops, because, yeah, we don't really actually have a lot of information beyond of, like, what was the intentions for this beyond, like, this is I don't even know how, like, profitable Activision Blizzard is to the state of California to begin with, so I am not sure what even is, like, what might be even the personal stakes that may be tied to this, but, yeah, it's not great, it's just, oh, God. It's just weird. It's like,
the issue is probably going to be money, and I think I'm still so like, like it's a video game company. I know it's not like just that, and that doesn't matter because all these industries are kind of the same. But like for it to come to a point where like the chief counsel was fired, and then the assistant chief counsel resigned because of it.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? This is, like, something that seems in the realm of virtually any other industry but the games industry, just for me, and I think that's just me needing to catch up with reality. But it just makes me wonder, like, how much longer this can go on.
Oh, God,
like, with Activision Blizzard specifically. Because every new step, there's just something that's fucked up and more fucked up, and I'm like, can we just all agree that this whole situation is fucked up?
Can they just
and then
stop?
Something happens in response to that?
Can they just stop? Can they just maybe stop?
Can we get rid of some people? I don't know. I'm not the person, but I just sitting here and I'm just like, this is like the most insane thing I've ever seen. Just develop.
I think also too from again, as someone who's not a lawyer, I just don't but from a legal standpoint, as someone who there's just too much. There's so much. And, I feel so bad for people who are probably, hopping on this or being attached to, who are trying to do something good and who are trying to, be the counsel that is trying to help the victims, trying to, figure out what the fuck is,
there's so much to steamroll over them, though.
Yeah, and it's just a complicated mess. And that's kind of the problem, too. And, also with the way the pandemic has been going, there's, so much, stuff the courts are doing with, too, that's, backed up, and, how they reschedule. And again, all their, technicalities they have to go through, as to why things take so long. Which, again, inherently probably is, a bigger question, the legal system and, all those other problems. But, there's so much. And they need to stop. That's all I have to say.
And it's just so weird because it's they got rid of a couple of the key offenders,
Yeah.
Wow. But Bobby Kotick in particular just seems untouchable for some reason.
Yeah.
So it's this issue where they're this happens every single time where they make the little some steps that are significant, getting rid of these guys who were huge offenders.
Yeah.
But then doing the small steps, and then Bobby is ruling the world over here, and then everybody's just hoping
strange
to forget about it.
Right. It's just one of those things what who do you know? What dirt do you have that's
who are you bribing?
Yeah, what is going on?
Who did you see hit someone with their car and now you control their life?
Yeah,
what is happening here?
What satanic powers do you have?
Kotick was in Epstein's Black Book. He probably does have he does have stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely some weird dark.
I always forget about that.
Yeah. No, there's definitely some weird dark connections that's putting him in this bubble right now that he is that he probably, like one of those things where like, oh god, again, not to be tinfoil hat, but like, very much like the situation of like probably just knowing a lot of people that he could really ruin if he gets taken. I don't know, just getting taken
just
out.
Having a lot of money, knowing a lot of people,
having a lot of money, just having too much money. God,
being just a horrible little ghoul.
And to cap this all off, there's multiple things to cap this off. I forgot. Okay, so 2 more things about Activision Blizzard here. Vicarious Visions has officially merged with Blizzard. They are now just a part of Blizzard. Real shame, as they were, a big... They were big as their own thing. They worked on those Spyro and Crash reboots. They did, like, Skylanders and all that other stuff. And, hey, now we're just throwing them in with Blizzard. And it's just another part of the machine.
To make more COD.
I mean, they're probably just going to be working on, like, WoW or... Diablo 4, just like in the background now instead of doing their own thing. And that's such a huge bummer. That is just such a huge bummer that they really seemed like they were getting back into their own groove for a while there. And now it's just getting snuffed out. Yeah,
it's a shame too, because they were like a major, they were like the biggest, like, I don't know biggest, but like they were a significant video game studio, in terms of that representation scene here in the East Coast. And I can't really, Rockstar's like on Long Island, I think, or Staten Island, but like some of their offices or studios are like, I don't know what, but I don't know in terms of development, but like I know for a fact Vicarious Visions, like in Albany, in upstate New York, they very much did stuff in house. Like they were all there. Like that's what they did. There's probably some video game studios in Connecticut I'm not aware about, but like they were the ones that like immediately came to mind for me in terms of like, oh, here's where the East Coast video game industry is. And it's a shame. But like I feel, it was very clear that I think it was going to head that direction. Like there were a lot of murmurs and things already mentioned. There were a lot of significant people that left a long time ago that went on to do other things. Like their own founders like went on to do, found Full-on Studios, and they've done Knockout City, which has been, the dodgeball online game that has been, in service for a while at this point. And, they're now like onwards, probably doing other things too. So at the very least, there is that silver lining that a lot of significant people that were part of that, studio, have moved on to do other things and are founded their own collectives to probably, do their own things and probably recapture that spirit. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that here's just another like thing that just gets absorbed into the blob to produce more Call of Duty, I guess.
Yeah, it's a real bummer. I guess specifically they are, I think, working on Diablo 4 and maybe some Destiny stuff. And I was incorrect. They did not do Spyro. They were doing Crash. And they also did.
I think they did the Guitar Hero. They could,
they worked on Guitar Hero after Red Octane and Harmonix.
Yeah.
They also did all those like old Tony Hawk ports for the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and DS, which were like pretty okay ports. They were different, but they were like their own thing and they were good. And then they did Tony Hawk 1 and 2 a few years ago. That was their last thing, and that was also great. That was their last significant
thing. Yeah, and people generally were like, that was awesome. And then now this is like the payoff. It's like, oh man.
Yeah, everyone is all geared up for them to do like 3 and 4 or like a Thug remake or something. And nope, they're just like, hey, we're done. Yeah. It's over. What a shame. What a shame. And okay, this time to cap it off here for real this time. The Overwatch devs came out right as all this stuff was coming out, and they were like, hey guys, we have another Overwatch announcement. Because they always do whenever there's something bad going on. God, I really did.
It's so funny. It is like, it is so obvious at this point, and yet they keep doing it. Like, it's just baffling.
Oh, and when times are good, they don't do anything with Overwatch.
Right? It's like,
they don't.
Come on.
I really did. I really didn't want to be like, oh, they're I for a while I did kind of think that people were overblowing it and just being like, come on, they can't be just doing like that's so bold-faced.
But like they gotta be, you know.
They absolutely are.
Yeah, every time something bad happens, they're just like, oh, we have an announcement.
Every single time.
Let's check the back of our pocket. Oh, this one.
So they announced Sojourn, the first black female character in the game. I don't fucking know. I didn't watch this shit. Wow. I don't care.
No, but it's like the joke writes itself. Like, people have made that joke all the time about, like, oh boy, they're gonna, whenever, like, for a while with that, when the news cycle was super, super, like, constantly, like, oh boy, a new bad thing Activision Blizzard has done. It seems like we're going back to that cycle, but, like, you know, tons of people are making that joke over, like, oh boy, they're gonna release a black female gay character finally, just to cover this up. And here, I don't know if she's gay, but, like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're like, we're gonna, let us finally release a character people have been pointing out has been missing in the first Overwatch for a long time, for years, a long time. For like,
they teased her in like. They teased her in, like, the original trailer.
Yeah, and, yeah, like, her concept art has been present as a thing people have speculated over. Like, oh, is that gonna be a new character, or is that just a throwaway fill-in art, just for the sake of showing, like, more. And what kills me the most is that, you know, in the Kotaku article that talks about it, the representative, discussing and trying to, you know, loosely, and not really, but, like, loosely, broadly answering the question over, like, why did this take so long? And the answer being basically like, oh, we didn't want to be trivial about it. Like, really? Like, it's not trivial that now you're kind of, like, doing a disservice to this character that could have been, like, awesome and great, like, years ago. And now you're, like, releasing her in the midst of, like, the worst scandal, even beyond a scandal, the worst crimes that this company has committed, like, years later. Like, really? It's just so disrespectful.
It's the Overwatch story. It's all trivial.
It is. No, you are right. It is. But yeah, it's also just like, wow, and you just held her, you held back on her until Overwatch 2. You didn't bother even release, you held back on releasing her in the original game as well, even though she was mentioned, like, alluded to as far as that. Like, it's just...
To be fair, they haven't done anything productive with Overwatch 1 for, like, a few years. You know?
Right.
And I used to play a lot of it in the beginning.
Oh, no, absolutely.
And then at some point... Yeah, and then at some point, they just kind of stopped. And then they'd have, like, you know, an event, and they would just genuinely recycle the old content. Be like, here you go. And it's like, who's working on this?
Yeah. For me,
why do you have a writer? Yeah. What is he doing?
For me personally, it was just like, I guess my personal momentum, like, oh, I just got tired of it. I just felt monotonous to me at some point, and it was very much like,
absolutely.
In a friend group where people would, like, you know, tag or ping everyone, be like, hey, playing Overwatch, you know, that we just all jumped in together. That's how it was. And that routine kind of, like, became less regular, etc. And no, but yeah, you're right. Their marketing and, like, handling and, like, release of content for that game, you know, Overwatch 1, just got sloppy over the years, and it was very apparent, I felt like, in their marketing materials where, like, they were putting out these beautiful animated shorts for their characters, and, like, in a way, I was very accepting, like, okay, there's, like, no real story to this game, like, but we're kind of getting elements of, like, that development and, like, these tiny stuff outside the context of the game. But over time, became, like, lackadaisical with it, and, like, they just dropped all these new characters I don't care about because they just didn't bother, like, they didn't just bother putting the work into, like, marketing them better, or even, and at that point, it was also my interest in it fizzled out too, so that was part of it, but, like, they, like, but the treatment of those characters were not as, like, strong as, you know, the fan fave Diva, or, like, Lucia, or, like, people like that. Like, I can't name who these new characters are. Like, this latest drop, her name is Sojourn, but, like, I call the feet guy, because that's right. Because his feet are just fucking out. Like,
they're
Jesus
just out,
Christ.
and that's his most defining feature. To be honest with you,
they're just hanging out. Like, his toesies are out. Like, I don't appreciate that, but sure. But that is unfortunately how I have to describe that character, because I don't know who he is. Like,
well, and it's weird because Overwatch, at least in the beginning, genuinely a huge part of its appeal was its presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they went to great lengths to make this game look a certain way and kind of keep the characters sort of in line with that, with the tone and the vibe and the visuals. And then they just went, and then just, like, threw out some characters and then stopped doing that altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So Sojourn, which she should be, like, you know, well, I mean, this is Overwatch 2, and frankly, I didn't think that was still happening. And I don't even know what to expect at this point.
I don't even know either.
Like, she could have been really cool for the game, but it's like nothing. And I mean, I know people still play it, but if I were to ask them, like, what's the substance? And maybe that's not why they're playing it. It is fun. Like, not to me personally anymore, but, like, it was fun before and it stayed the same, so it's probably fun now in that, like, regard. But where's the substance? Like, what is it about anymore?
The big reason why I quit Overwatch was because they were going way too hard with the updates and were paying way too much attention to
the meta kept changing.
The meta. Yeah.
Yep.
True, yeah.
Like,
that was when the competitive scene was growing, and they were prioritizing that. Yeah.
Yes, they tried way too hard with that. Because, like, you know, I only really played one character. I would play some healer sometimes, you know, which, again, they screwed that up. But, like, I played Diva a lot because I like to fucking shoot a machine gun and float around and shit.
Yeah.
And they completely changed her moveset, and it wasn't the same character. And, like, you know, I'm fine with, like, updates to characters. I'm fine with them changing that. But, like, if I'm playing a fighting game and, you know, I start off playing as Ryu, and after a couple of months, he doesn't have the Hadouken anymore.
Yeah.
That's not Ryu. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, those were the kind of updates they were making and it was just for the competitive scene. And the thing with the competitive scene is that it's their job to figure it out. It's not your job to keep kowtowing to them. You have to put stuff out, and then if it's completely broken, you have to fix it. But if it's not, they need to figure it out. It's it's literally their job to play this game and learn it and play it. Like, that's their job. So, you know, like, don't screw it over for the regular people. So that's absolutely why I dropped off Overwatch 1. And, like, Overwatch 2 is going to be all, like, PvE. And, you know what, like, sure, like, that's one thing, but, like, I'm just not interested in it anymore.
How good could it be?
Yeah.
I'm just not, I mean, aside from kind of staying away from like Activision Blizzard games in general, I'm genuinely not interested in Overwatch 2, even being like a big fan of early Overwatch 1.
Yeah, they completely ruined all their goodwill, and, you know, even ignoring the overall Activision Blizzard shit, which, I mean, obviously you shouldn't, but, like, if that had never happened, if that had never come out, if that never happened, like, I still wouldn't have any interest in Overwatch because they just completely shot it in the foot. So there's no way.
It's just like World of Warcraft. Like, I haven't played it in, I don't know. I think I played it a little bit during the pandemic, obviously. Well, like 2020 pandemic. But I've been keeping like a close eye on it because I've been playing it since, you know, 2005 on and off. And so I'm kind of just, like, personally invested in, like, the overall story, and I try and keep track of it, even though I don't play it. And, like, it's become so bad. It's, like, it's really weird. And some other stuff, actually, it's kind of come out that some of the stuff that's happening at Activision Blizzard and has been happening is part of the reason why the story has been going the way it's been going.
Oh.
And it's hard to elaborate here. Maybe I can elaborate elsewhere, and I know people have written about it before. But just kind of see, and like the new expansion is going to be like announced, I don't know, today, tomorrow, in a few days. I'm not sure. It's around this time. And I'm like, you're still trying to do it?
Yeah, because this is also like, around the time where they're now, you know, this is the second year, there's no BlizzCon. And this would be around the time when there would be dropping new material. So
they are announcing the new expansion.
Which is the one people, like, I know some of our Final Fantasy players, like, have questioned if it was just bizarrely again, like, I'm not to say that, like, okay, there's going to be just some similarities of, like, archetypes in terms of all this, but, like, some of the stuff people know about it felt like, it was, like, too similar to what 14 was doing already. And so
like,
there was, like, a lot of question
like,
of that.
the leaks regarding the new one, or, like, the last one?
I don't know, but one of them.
I wouldn't be surprised. And
yeah, knowing that a huge
there's
exodus of their players went to Final Fantasy 14.
yeah. And then, like, at about that point, you know, even just the systems in the game became just, like, really tedious. And I mean, you're still going to have people who enjoy that and who also do, like, rating or push content. But just the general quality of the game went down before even all the stuff about the company itself came out.
Right.
And it just keeps going. Like, they keep building things up, and then they just fail the execution, at least with the story, which, I mean, is a kind of a huge part of, like, World of Warcraft.
Right.
So to, like, hit, like, this low point, this crescendo of, like, a low point, and then to announce a new expansion, I'm, like, so curious as to what the premise is, as to how they're going to present it, as to what people are going to say. Like, I'm so excited to see it. And, like, really put everything into context. Because you might now have, like, new people trying to fix all of the mistakes introduced by, like, Afrasiabi and stuff.
I think that's also, too, like, a lot of questions over... Is that also perhaps explain the, like, the hand-waving, the weird lack of quality of some... If of anything new they've been doing, and if it's because a lot of, like, like, veterans, a lot of senior people, a lot more experienced people left, and they have, like, a lack of hands, and or like, you know, they have mostly new people, or lesser experienced people on board, where, or even, I wouldn't, maybe they're secretly outsourcing to, who knows, but, like, and now that's also explains the root of some of the problems too. There's just, like, a lack of interest of people to do the work, and or incapable of. No one is applying to their job listings. There are a million job listings they keep paying to push up because no one's applying to them. And that's the problem.
I mean,
and also people probably, like, just striking too, you know, or, like, withholding
it almost
work.
Certainly has to do with, you know, general working conditions, probably strains with, like, maybe small teams when they need more people, like, nobody wanting to work for them anymore. You know, almost certainly that. I've just been, like, looking at just, like, general quality, like, the things they can choose to have control over, and they just fumble it really bad.
Right.
And that having to do with, like, some really toxic oversight, and it's been interesting to see how everything coalesces. Even more interesting to see them keep going. So I cannot wait to see what this expansion is.
Can't wait for more insane shit to go down.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think since we're talking about Overwatch, we can move into talking about some other things that are kind of like Overwatch. Alvi, you recently got into that Gundam Evolution beta trial?
Yes, Gundam Overwatch. Well, no, it is called. Yes, you're right, Gundam Evolution. There's a couple of Gundam games they're trying to now bring over to North America that I believe have been, like, they're online games that have been in servers already in servers in Japan or maybe even other places already at this point. But it seems like I think they're now testing the waters to put them out here. And I managed to get in for it might be even still going on technically. I thought it ended last week, and I was kind of rushing through it, but whatever. I managed to get into playtest, the one for Gundam Evolution, which is, as I'm going to read the Steam description, Gundam Evolution is a fast-paced and immersive team-based FPS game where you pilot mobile suits from the smash hit Gundam anime. And yeah, it's basically, arena capture the flag. It's Overwatch. And they have, like, so one of the other games I've seen that they're putting out, I think, is, like, an SD Gundam game, and that's, like, a third-person brawl kind of beaten up dog fighting game. I don't know. They're also doing tests for that, but I have not heard anything on my end. but it is Evolution that I managed to get in. And yeah, from the get-go, it is, I keep saying Overwatch, it is just Overwatch because their HUD looks similar, and I don't know if that's intentional, but it's just weirdly similar. Like, there's only so much you can do with the colors blue and red for people not to, like, associate that with other things. But it just looks weirdly way too similar. Like, I would look at something like other games, but literally the HP bar of your character just looks exactly the same, so I don't know what's going on there. Like, they just got the same graphic designer, sure. Or maybe it's a stock template, sure. But yeah, overall, I have very mixed feelings about it. I don't think this is a game for certain I will anticipate playing for a full release, ultimately, and ultimately because, like, I don't know, ultimately, like, this sort of game is not something I'm particularly that interested as much in recent times. Like, there hasn't really been anything, I think, that has captured the same energy I felt like all the way back to Team Fortress 2, right? But, and, you know, I haven't even popped open that, even though knowing people play that, right, still frequently. But I don't know if this is the type of game that is good for Gundam. And you know, talking to other people in our Chooch community over it, like, you know, people who are more Gundam heads than me. I'm definitely not a Gundam head, so I'm just kind of coming at this from like a very outside perspective. But it definitely did not feel like this captures what Gundam should be. So I guess to go into, like, my points, like, first of all, it looks good, besides the fact that I feel like, again, there's, like, weird aesthetics to it that seems like it's just ripping off Overwatch. Again, not sure of what's going on there. But it looks good, it feels good, but the sound is great. There's some good voice acting there. We got some, like, fun little Easter eggs, that are very apparent immediate, if you know Gundam, from the get-go. But, like, the choices of characters are weird, and their movesets are not great. The control, and again, this is like, it's still like in a testing phase where, like, the movesets are not good. Like, it does not feel like a balanced game with the selection of characters they have. So you're not to go into too much detail over, like, specific model names, because I myself am like, I don't even know who these people are. But, like, for instance, like, it is a little weird to me that the titular Gundam, the one everyone knows about, the signature one that everyone knows about, kind of sucks, like, compared to, like, the other characters. There's just like, they made a lot of strange moveset choices for, like, a lot of these characters. So, for instance, like, if anyone has seen the show, at least, like, you would recognize the signature Gundam has, like, a shield. Like, they have a shield. In the game, like, you can put the shield up, but you can't do anything with it, which is kind of weird to me. Like, you literally can't move. You can't move. You can look through the shield, but it's just a shield. And which is a little bizarre to me, because then it's like, okay, so now you're just standing there. I don't know, there's just, in terms of, like, thinking, like, from a strategy perspective, like, okay, that's not useful in a very fast-paced environment you're in. But meanwhile, there's, like, other characters with a shield that can move. They can, like, charge people with it. It's a very strange choice. And there's just, like, a lot of things about the control of that character that felt weird. Ultimately, I felt like, you know, the accessible beginner characters were the best characters, because they were the most balanced characters, right? They're the characters that are there for you as a beginner to hop in and, you know, play the tutorial phase. Like, essentially, like, a soldier, essentially soldier, like, from Overwatch. Like, that's just your base tutorial character. Like, they can do everything. They're very well-rounded. You can just do whatever. But then we have characters like, what's the one? I'm trying to look through the names again. There's a character there's a character that's the equivalent of, like, you know, the engineer, the character who places down the turrets, you know, for defense, tactics. Like, you know, if your character's like, if your team is on, like, the defensive side, for instance, but then the turrets, like, disappear over time, and you can only put down one at a time. So, like, if you spawn one in another place, it's just gonna be there for a bit, but they don't really tell you how long it stays there, so it's just like, so it's like, okay, what's the point of this? Then you have to keep putting them down. A lot of the characters that depend on aerial time, like flight, to just do well and charge through, the controls for that are bad. They're not good right now. There's another character that they can charge at someone, and they just one-shot kill people. Like, and that's it. They can just do, like, there's just so much imbalance across, like, all these characters right now that it's not great. It's not really good. And, like, I had the most fun basically playing the equivalent of, like, the Bastion of this game, which is, like, a little guy. You're just a little guy. You're in a tank, and you just shoot things. Like, that's it. Like, that's like, the most fun way. Like, everyone else felt like they had very complicated, difficult to approach moves, especially if you're not someone who's familiar with this franchise or what those characters specifically do. But yeah, again, based on conversations with other people in our, like, Chooch community who are more in tune with, like, Gundam specifics, they even agree that, like, no, these don't really make a lot of sense for these characters, or, like, they could have made better decisions over what these characters can do and how they would feel. And overall, they did not feel like it was very representative of, like, the scope of what Gundam is. And yeah, there are a lot of things too that I, like, even, like, recognize, like, that's kind of weird. Like, isn't this character design technically an antagonist? Like, would be an antagonist in, like, one of the series, so it's weird that you're playing on the same team. Like, again, this is another thing too, where the storyline, there's, like, kind of no storyline either as to, like, what is going on. Like, why are you all in mobile suits fighting? Like, I don't know what the stakes are as to why we regular people we're donning these suits and fighting each other either. Like, I don't know, are we, like, in training grounds? Like, is there some sort of, like, impeding threat? Like, as one would, as like a storyline in a Gundam series would go. Like, there's some sort of, like, huge opposing force we have to, like, prepare for. But, like, no, we're just fighting each other in, like, a lot, in, like, a yard for no reason. So it's not really clear as to what's going on here. So it very much feels like, yeah, this is supposed to be, like, you know, like, a fan servicey kind of game for, like, Gundam fans to hop in. But, you know, based on, like, my experience as, like, a non-Gundam head, while also talking with other people who played the game too, like, around the same time, and we're like, it doesn't seem like it's succeeding with that. It seems like it's very surface at the moment, right? It's very surface. And they have a survey to, like, express all these concerns, and I did my best to equate that as someone who's not a huge Gundam person. But yeah, overall, it's just like, you know, it's just one of those things where I feel like games now can look good. They can look great. And that's not hard anymore. That's not hard. But the bare minimum of, like, it feeling good is the real issue right now, right? So, you know, but yeah, I don't know. Ultimately, I don't know what would be an ideal game genre for Gundam. But I don't quite know if it's this. So that's just kind of my opinion on it. But yeah, it was interesting. Experiencing it. And again, it was also interesting to experience it as someone who has not played, like, a Capture the Flag game in a while. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Gundam Overwatch. But yeah, who's to say? I don't know how much of it would be different in, like, the full release, and also I don't know, like, if this is also already reflective of, like, how it already is in, like, the Japan servers. So
it probably is,
yeah,
honestly.
Yeah. This probably already is a game, unfortunately, and my opinions don't matter. So I don't know. But ultimately, like, you know, it's probably worth just trying out. You know, if you are a Gundam fan, and, like, you know, just give your own insights. But ultimately, like, it didn't feel good to me as someone who is not. So I don't know if I don't think that's a good sign.
Is it going to be free to play? Do you know?
I don't know, but there definitely were, you know, again, the classic things of, like, okay, there's, like, the regular in-game currency, and then there's extra stuff you can purchase, you know, with the separate premium currency you would pay real money for. Mm-hmm. There might be loot boxes, essentially, so, you know, okay. But there were things like, yeah, you can buy, there were, like, 2 characters not available up front, either for this test or because inherently they are, like, premium DLC characters. Mm-hmm. But again, from, like, just my issue with, like, the balancing issues across the characters across the board, like, like, I don't know how to feel about that. That's like, oh, you have to buy 2 characters with real money, and then they might potentially be more advantageous compared to other characters. Like, it was very apparent when, again, playing like a Capture the Flag game where one side of the team where it's like, okay, these are clearly people who like know this game well and have been playing this game for a while, and it's like, oh, okay, whatever. So, you know, I'm a noob, sorry. That's my problem. But then it's apparent when, like, they keep choosing the same characters over and over, and it's like, oh, okay. And that's where I think it really shows that, yeah, some characters are just designed better than others, and that's not a good thing for a game like this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, you get it. You know that character can just do that and just kill me right away, while I can't just fucking do anything because I'm broken right now. So,
all right. Franny, you've been playing a first-person shooter recently. What's going on over? I guess also similar to other things we've been talking about recently. How's Destiny going?
Oh no.
It's fine, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't have any complaints. It's been like a while, like 2 months or so since the expansion came out. And the expansion was great. It introduced like a new weapon that's really fun and a bunch of other little systems that I don't want to elaborate on right now, but the story was really good. Me and kind of my group that I play with have just been tackling like the new raid over and over. And where's my note? They recently announced that they were going to start doing like a weekly rotation of old dungeons and raids. Not Destiny 1, which would be cool, but that's obviously like way more work to execute. But just like stuff that they've vaulted, which is what they've done to keep the game from being, I think they said, unimaginably bloated, which I guess I understand. So it's going to be nice that they're bringing back some of this old content, especially for people who didn't get to experience it, because the state of the game right now is like very much more catered towards people who've been playing the whole time. And if you just recently started playing it, it's like kind of confusing and a little bit like Swiss cheese. Like there's just like holes everywhere. But that's been really fun, actually. It is kind of in a lull right now between seasons where they like mostly wrapped up the seasonal story and now they're just offering more challenges, just kind of like grindy stuff. And then at a certain point there will be like another story beat and then like the next season and then it just kind of goes on from there. It's like highs and lows with this. But it's been pretty good so far.
That's good. So, is there anything that you're maybe looking forward to in the future with it, or?
I mean, I think I mentioned it in, like, my Games of the Year, where I did mention Destiny, and I felt like they had reached, especially in the few months, obviously, prior to Witch Queen, they had reached a real peak, like, storytelling, like, their specific storytelling, and, like, kind of tying old pieces of lore to like the new content and keeping everything really in line. There's like not a lot of plot holes with Destiny, which is kind of nice. They really seem to have a handle on like where their story has been, who's been in it, where they're going, stuff like that. So I'm honestly just excited to see how there's still a lot of questions. There's still like a lot of big questions. And so I'm excited to see how it plays out more. Because it seems like it's going to be really fucked up, so I'm like excited for that. And it would be nice to visit like some of these old raids and dungeons, because a couple of them I was not really into content pushing when they came out, so I didn't actually do them. So that'll be fun too.
All right, well, glad to hear you've got the Destiny update here. I have been playing Kirby and the goddamn, what's that shit called? Land, the one that we don't remember. I don't know. Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Oh,
Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
I like yours better, honestly.
That's the real title.
I don't know if Nintendo would swing for that.
Yeah, they couldn't get past. Yeah.
I'm still in the early game. I would say I'm in World 4. Which, from what I can gather, after that is kind of where the game starts to really take off. I would say, honestly, like, the third world was where I started to get more invested in it. Because, like, the first two are pretty basic. You know, there's, like, the green greens type thing. And then the second world in Kirby games is always, like, beach-themed. The third one was, like, an amusement park. And, I know it's dumb to just be like, oh man, it's just like Nier Automata, but it reminded me a lot of Nier Automata in a good way. Not 1-to-1 obviously, but I really just sat there and was like, damn, that was kind of like that amusement park bit in the Automata was when I really fell in love with that game. And this is also when I started to appreciate the concepts in Forgotten Land a lot more. Because they play with the actual like structure of the levels a lot more and the puzzles. And it reminds me a lot of Mario Odyssey in that you are... It's less about the challenge. It's less about, like, because you can figure out what to do pretty easily. But it's more just like, oh, this is a cool thing that they're doing. Oh, this is a neat thing that they're showing me and that I'm doing right now. And it's just like, it's about the experience. It's about showcasing these ideas that the dev team had. And, I can appreciate that a lot. The gameplay is again, it gets better and better as you go. As you get the better upgraded copy abilities, it's really cool. I just upgraded the fire ability to a dragon fire ability. And that's pretty sick. You're just like rocketing around with huge dragon wings and shooting dragon fire that builds and builds and keeps doing damage over time. It's super cool. And I love the levels that are sort of like showcases for each of the different powers. They give you like a little challenge mode thing to go through, which I like those levels, but I do wish that the game had other ways of explaining how the abilities worked, because you will unlock an ability, or an upgrade to an ability before you get to the challenge mode a lot of the times, and so at times, I just won't know what the difference is between the different forms. And then you finally get to the challenge mode, and it's like, oh, okay, so if you crouch and do this, it does something different. Or, if you have this sword and your health is full, it'll do, it'll do projectiles like Link's sword in some of those games. So... I wish that just hitting pause gave you that rundown like a lot of other Kirby games do, the ones on Game Boy and DS and all that. Yeah. They had little rundowns of what all you could do on the pause menu. They don't have that here because I guess they want you to do the challenge modes. And it's just I do the challenge modes even if they didn't, I want to know my abilities because the challenges are fun. I just wish that it was a bit easier to understand what all was there. But it's adorable, really good music. It's Kirby. When you're in the Waddle Dee town, there is a button that you can press to say hi. And you can run around and say hi to all the Waddle Dees, and they wave back to you. It's very cute. They're just hanging out. They are.
That's wonderful.
It is very wonderful. Highly recommended. If you have a Switch, you are probably you probably either already have this or are planning on picking it up. But it's solid. It's definitely better than Star Allies. I think Star Allies got pretty decent by the end of its lifespan, where they added all the different characters and the different modes and stuff. But Forgotten Land is just solid. From day one, it's really good. I think anyone who enjoys a good Kirby game, or just likes to see cute things happening on a screen, should check it out for sure. Because I know I do.
Absolutely, I love Kirby. Just love that little guy. No, this is definitely a game I definitely want. For sure, and I'm glad to hear there's just consistent good things about it.
Let's do some more news here. We got some interesting stuff here. All right, here. I'm gonna go into some of the more normal news, and then we can end on the insane shit. All right.
Gotta build it up. Yeah.
We got the announcement of a new Cook Serve Delicious, which is called Cook Serve Forever.
Forever. Nice. It looks. It looks different.
I do need to amend this. They are saying this is a new IP. This is not a new Cook Serve Delicious. This is a new type of game. They're saying, I'm going to read the overview here from the Steam page. Cook your way through the bustling solar punk city of Helanthus as Nori Kaga, a food cart chef aspiring to make it big like her role model, the culinary queen herself, Chef Rhubarb. This all-new IP from the creators of Cook Serve Delicious features hundreds of ingredients, a fully voiced story, tantalizing side quests, gorgeous artwork, and a gameplay that simulates the rhythm and tacticality of cooking. So it's, it's going to be more about, it's going to be
There's
more
like
of a story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a different cooking system so it's going to play differently than original Cook Serve Delicious did. But it looks pretty similar, it's got a lot of the same flair, I would say.
Yeah. Fun salivating food art as usual. Yeah.
Yeah, really great looking food art.
But yeah, it already looks like it has because it now seems to have a specific story guide. There's visual novel elements to it as well, which is very interesting. I'm curious how that will.
So shiny.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Just keep looking at the donut. It's
that
so
donut
shiny.
is glazed as hell. It is.
Oh, that burger!
It is rocking it. It is fresh. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting.
Very good. Very good. Very excited. Cook Serve Delicious is great. I've only really played the first one, but that game was fantastic, and I'd love to see.
It hits a certain thing for you. It's like, oh wow, ooh.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm glad that they're making another one, or making, I guess, a new IP in the same vein. Very neat. Very cool. Let's see here. Bug Snacks. It's back. It is, first off, it is getting ported to Switch and Xbox. It's going to be on Game Pass. And also, there is the big new update, the Isle of Big Snacks, that is coming out, let's see what day.
Big Bugs.
Big Bugs, yeah. It is going to be on the scrolling. April 28th, so about 2 weeks from now. It's going to be a free update as well, which is nice. So there you go. They are adding a bunch of new snacks to collect, and a lot of them are large, so you have to use a shrink spice to make them tiny to catch it in your trap.
Oh, yes. God, I love that.
You're going to be able to build a house that you can decorate.
Oh boy.
You get your own hut in Snacksburg.
Hell yeah.
There is new mail that you can get, get new items to put in your house and send mail to the different characters. And hey, guess what? There's hats, baby! You might find a bug snack that has a hat. And then you get to keep that hat. You
can take their hat.
And then you could put it on your own bug snacks hats. Like if you how Gramble has the farm that you could bring bug snacks to, you could put hats on those bug snacks.
Oh my gosh!
And they did say that if you have finished the game, that it will just put you in a save state that you it seems like it takes place maybe 3/4 of the way through the game. So they're gonna let you just kind of skip to that. So you could just play the new stuff and not worry about, having to restart the game, which is nice. But yeah, this seems like a good little update here for a very good game. I'm looking forward to what this is going to add to the experience. It just seems like a fun little extra. And if you haven't played Bugsnax, I would absolutely recommend you to. I know that a lot of us really liked it. I don't know if it's still available for free on, if you have PS Plus. It might have just been a special deal thing for when the PS5 first came out. But, if you have Game Pass, it will be on Game Pass, and the free update will be on there. And, if you only have a Switch, it's going to be on Switch as well, and it'll have that update as well. So, it's available pretty much wherever now. So, I would say check it out. This one I don't really know too much about. Alvi, if you want to talk about this D&D stuff.
Oh yeah. So here's the tabletop minute.
All right.
Actually, probably will just be a minute. So D&D Beyond is a toolkit / service a lot of people who play, Dungeons and Dragons, and specifically the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, to like run their games. So it provides things like, okay, here's like a cloud space you can save your documents. Here's like a cloud space where you can save your sheets and all your materials, and even directly source the rule book without needing like a physical book. So it's just all there. It's like a great like catalog and resource for people who run and play games. And D&D Beyond has had a weird relationship with Wizards of the Coast, again, who are currently, the main people who distribute Dungeons and Dragons official
and Hasbro
material.
and all that.
And Hasbro, they're like under the same, well, Wizards of the Coast is under Hasbro, I believe, right? Or I don't know. Yeah, I believe so. So at some point they sold it for some reason. I don't remember the details why, but they sold it to Fandom, as AKA those people who do those wikis. Yes. Yes, they are their own company somehow. They apparently do more than the wikis, because yes, I know that they do things like, they're basically like a media publication technically at this point. Like they do things like produce video, and I don't know what else they do, but I'm not surprised if they actually do things like merchandising, which explains this. And for a long while, like, okay, that's D&D Beyond is owned by Fandom. And now recently Hasbro decides, aka Wizards of the Coast decides, hey, we're just gonna buy this back. And that's what happened recently. So for a lot of people in the community, it just raises a lot of questions over, like, the reason why people actually like D&D Beyond is because it was technically not a Wizards of the Coast property. So in a way, it was like functioning as like a weird independent entity, but also not. And so it's hard to explain in like, layman's terms, in terms of someone who's not, like, if you don't play, but like, for a lot of people who design games or who write or like make original content, like it was kind of useful to just for it to be used as like a playground or to like play around with and stuff. So it now being reacquired by Wizards of the Coast does raise a lot of questions over like legal stuff. Like, okay, like say what, so for instance, like, okay, that means now, like, because right now actually Wizards of the Coast, like they're like releasing tons of D&D stuff right now. Like they're releasing new rule books, new source books. There's some stuff going on with like, apparently what was a Dark Souls, RPG, which apparently is really bad. So that's like a side note, because it was just not, again, Dark Souls should not be, Dungeons and Dragons should not be the template for our Dark Souls RPG, tabletop game, hands down. Absolutely not. That does not work at all. And unfortunately, that's what happened. But they're releasing a bunch of stuff, and I think also because Stranger Things is coming with a new season, and I know there's like a mainstream association with that, so there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's kind of like, it kind of makes sense they're doing this move now. They just want to consolidate everything under their belt, but it certainly does raise a lot of questions over like legal stuff for like people who do designs where they can independently make stuff without like issues of legal scrutiny and etc. Through D&D Beyond. And now it's like, oh god, now I have to like transfer all this stuff out and figure, like, is it, So there's like there's a lot of specific like designer questions and legal stuff. But yeah, I guess from like a player perspective, it's like one of those things. It's kind of like a difficult, upsetting thing when you think about like, monopolization, right? Where, we see that situation with the anime industry, like with the anime streaming industry, right? Like all those platforms consolidating, like Crunchyroll and Funimation. It's like, from like a user and consumer perspective, it's like, okay, everything's consolidated, so things should be easy, right? But then no, if you look at the other perspective, like everyone else, like the creators behind that stuff, like again, the issue of like, or like seeing, like you're trying to think about other audiences, where like again, the issue with the Crunchyroll Funimation stuff is now like, oh, they're really pushing that you gotta have a paying account. You can't access this for free anymore when it just adds. So yeah, there's that issue of like, this is shutting out like a huge portion of people who like were okay with just the free account and deal with ads, like especially like teenagers, right? Who are like a huge portion of like the anime demographic right now. But this is basically raising a lot of similar issue of like, okay, what does that mean now for like just D&D and Beyond in general? If I can be as non-specific as possible, like just it's a similar question. Like specific legal stuff that again, maybe the average person doesn't think about, but for sure in one hand, like, okay, this could be a good thing for some people, but it's going to raise some questions for other people. Right now, they're really pushing, they're pushing their own, like, whole thing online, too. We're like, oh, we got a new update. We have, similar to, like, Nintendo's, like, online updates, etc. So, they're hamming up for something big right now, which, again, I think mostly goes back to the fact that they're trying to release, like, some new source material that hopefully... Well, not really. I've seen some of what that is trying to address some problematic stuff that has been in previous material in the past. So they're trying to update a lot of those things, and they're probably going to do 3D D&D Beyond as well. But yeah, and especially again considering that like the pandemic has really shown that a lot more people have started playing tabletop online, and it's still going. Like there's like a very strong momentum there, and they're like, that's awesome. That's awesome. You can like you don't really need to depend on like physical materials just to like enjoy and have a good time. So they're definitely taking advantage of like that current trend.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of mixed feelings it seems about this, but on the whole, I hope it turns out all right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, one more small thing here. No Man's Sky is getting yet another update called the Outlaws update. I guess it's already out. Let's see here. Again, I don't know too much about No Man's Sky, but I'm just gonna read what's on the tweet here because this is a lot. There are outlaw space stations, cloth simulation, an outlaw story, smuggling, a solar ship, you can recruit wingmen, there are planetary frigates, improved space combat, forged passports, more ship slots, bounty missions, and planetary pirate raids. That all sounds pretty cool, honestly.
So glad for this game to have just turned around like this and be like, you know what? We're a real game now. And good for them.
Yeah, they really, I mean, they took all of the, like, extremely negative, like, initial reaction and just went, all right. And then they just, like, fixed everything. I mean, as far as I've heard, it makes me wish I had stuck with it. Because I did play it in the beginning, and I was like, this is pretty boring for me personally. And then I just, like, never played it again.
Right.
And this all sounds really interesting. I just don't know how to put it in the context of No Man's Sky.
I mean, I guess you could find out pretty easily by playing it. You know, I don't know. I don't know where it's available here.
I know.
I'm looking to see.
I feel like it's so big.
Oh, absolutely.
I have been meaning to like play it though, because I'm like, I do wish I had stuck with it, and it does seem like they worked really hard to make it way different from the from what they released, which I actually really respect. And now a lot of people love it.
It is on Steam for half off right now, $30.
Okay, that. Yeah, trying to promote the update.
Yeah, I'm sure that you could probably find like a pretty cheap physical copy out there if you want to play it on PS4 or whatever.
I wonder if it's on PC Game Pass.
I don't know. It is coming to Steam though, which seems or not Steam. It is coming to Switch, which seems insane to me. But
yeah, I wonder how that would work.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's like this is on Game Pass. Oh yeah, No Man's Sky is on Game Pass. So if you do have Game Pass, you can play it on there. Yes, I did.
Sick.
So there you go.
Sick.
So yeah, that seems like a nice big ol' update for folks who want to check that out. It's on Game Pass. All right. Let's do the rest of our personal stuff, and then we'll round this off with the two insane bits of news.
Sure. Yeah.
LV, tell me about Chinatown Detective Agency.
Yeah, Chinatown Detective Agency is like one of a jillion point-and-click adventure games that are deciding to just come out right now for no reason.
It's a big thing recently.
I think I mentioned this many times before, but like at least last year, all of them were like, you're an anthropomorphic character. They're all furries for some reason. Now we're back to humans. But I literally my like watch list, and not necessarily wish list, but just watch list of like this games of this genre are just trying to come back. Weirdly, I guess, poignant because there's talks of that Monkey Island film being revived. So I don't know, maybe there's something in the air. So people have figured out how to save that film, and it has been probably secretly in production for a while. But yeah, anyway. China Detective, and just to be transparent, I did back this game on Kickstarter a while ago. They are published under Humble Games. And I remember playing the demo for it from some time ago during some online games event, and yeah, I had pretty good impressions of it. Like, it was very buggy at that point in time, so it was like I couldn't really cast judgment on it, but like it's very pretty. Very pretty. But, you know, I guess to talk about my mixed feelings of like my impressions so far of like now the full game, you know, like I said, there's so many adventure point and click games of this nature right now. They're all they're all cyberpunk. They're just all that right now. They're just all that. They're all this Blade Runner aesthetic. They're all angsty. I'm like, okay, come on. And honestly, that is this too again. But I think it's kind of refreshing that this is like a different setting for once. Like it's you know, I not to say though, I'm not sure if the developers are actually Singaporean, but this game, you know, it's kind of refreshing to finally see like, okay, here's like a female protagonist. Here's like a depiction, which I felt like seems like a well-researched depiction of like Singapore. And you actually have like there's actually voice acting in the game that actually are, you know, being performed by Singaporean actors. So there's at least kudos to that. But yeah, for sure, there's a deep oversaturation of just like angsty neo-noir cyberpunk games right now, and this is one of those. But overall, like it is a game for sure. I think I just want to immediately talk about my problem with the game. Let me actually read the description since we've been kind of doing that as a like on Steam as it is. Chinatown Detective Agency is a cyber noir point and click adventure blending stunning retro design with innovative mechanics. And you're basically playing a woman who again a very very common archetype throughout these games, and just I guess that's the problem with noir, just noir in general, not even neo-noir, just noir in general. It's kind of the same thing, right? It's always like someone who is like an ex-cop and they're like jaded by being in the force and they're like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna wander around here and take things into my own hands. Like, it's all the same story. it's you know, and I'm gonna run my own detective agency. And that's the case here. You're playing this woman who used to be an officer and now she's like, nah, I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to independently solve cases. And it's pretty cool. Like there's like the traveling system of the game is like, yeah, you're in Singapore, but you also travel to different cities, and there's like kind of this like, interesting like trains, you know, video game GG. There's just interesting kind of like subway like transitional system when you like travel across the map and like have to go through different things. Like the way the HUD is that you kind of have like your phone on the side of the screen, and that's kind of like your main interface in terms of like your menu. But otherwise, like, dial boxes still, like, appear at the bottom, like, you know, as per a traditional standard game. And again, just, this game just looks really pretty. It's good. And yeah, it feels very episodic in nature. Right now I don't feel like there's, like, an overarching storyline where there's some sort of, like, impeding, like, conflict. In regards to the character, it feels very much like this is a case-by-case thing. It feels very, restrained in that regard. You know, like, yeah. And these two games are not all similar, but my mind, for some reason, immediately goes to Ace Attorney, because I'm still trying to finish up, like, Ace Attorney Chronicles. But, like, yeah, like, even though those games run on, like, like, that whole series, even though those games are very case by case, there still is some sort of, like, bigger arc going on in the background, right? Like, you know, like, you know, if one thinks about the original trilogy games, like, right, there's, like, the Edgeworth stuff that eventually builds up and is like, you know, unfurls in its own dedicated case. In this game, I don't feel that. I feel like, oh, everyone's issues are very separate and distinct from each other, which is fine, and that's the point. But I think my big problem with the game is that you kind of like are playing this with the pretense of this being like, oh, it's a mystery game, it's like a puzzle game. And right now, it doesn't feel that way. Like, I feel like it kind of feels like this should have been a more kinetic game. This should have been a visual novel instead. I don't know, like, I feel like the puzzles are not that strong, and like I think the big problem I have with this game right now is that you have to like leave the game to solve some of the puzzles. Like you have like there's like I guess without going into specifics, but like there's a point where, for instance, like you have to like answer a question that involves like a historical fact. And nowhere in the game, like, you know, it's not one of those things where, like, oh, you run into a character that explains this piece of information. Like, no, it is generally, like, real-world information you gotta look up, like, leaving the game and Google searching it. And it's like, what? Like, you know, and in a different game, that would be cool. That actually would be very interesting and innovative. Like, I immediately think of, stuff like Orwell. You know, that's quite an old one at this point. Where, you know, like, it probably would not work in that, but, like, you're playing basically an interface. You're playing some sort of weird software where, like, it feels very much like that's something I would believe exists in this world, you know, and it's like, okay, it's because, like, that Orwell, like, draws attention to you as the player, too, and that's, like, kind of the creepy part and, like, kind of the point of Orwell as well. Like, it acknowledges you, the player, is, like, a real person. And you yourself is kind of like in the game itself, and that's where your suspension of disbelief happens, where I can see you being taken out of the game to like look up something like makes sense. Even though the game does not do that at all, but that's just what I mean. And other games, so I guess to like not, I didn't need to cite Oral as a specific example, but like thinking about other games where you, the player, are acknowledged as a person, and you're not like playing a character in the game, like I think that's where it makes sense. In this case, Chinatown Detective, you're playing like a character. You are in the role of a character who is in her own world and in her own setting. And for me to like be encouraged, or all right, that's the only solution, that I have to like leave the game to Google search like, I don't know, some historical fact about like who was the prime minister in India at 1980. That is so strange. That is very weird. I don't know how to feel about it right now, but I am leaning towards the fact that that's like not good game design. That is where I feel like I stand right now, and I don't know if I will be shifted if that makes any sort of difference, but it kind of does not make sense with the rest of the game, where it's just a standard, straightforward like, yeah, I'm in like a futuristic setting. I'm like a detective, and there's no gimmick to justify that. There's like she doesn't have like a fancy device to be like, oh yeah, I need to go off. You know, like she doesn't have she doesn't have a device to justify how that matches up like thematically to the game itself. It's like very jarring and not great. And yeah, I don't know. I'm still coasting in it. I'm still like cruising along in it to just see if like that decision, that choice of a mechanic like will make further sense. But right now, there's nothing really telling me like that needed to be there. Like why wasn't this designed in a way where like, okay, but the resolutions to the puzzles are in the game itself. That is the point. That is why I'm playing this game. I'm not here to like play the Wikipedia, like it's a very odd decision on their part. Like if you like look up the game, you can immediately see some people are very like, what is this? Why did you do this? And it certainly was not something I expected to when I again played the demo back then, because there was no puzzle I encountered that made me do that. And there's more than a handful that unfortunately are happening right here. So it is very odd, but not to say it's awful, but it's definitely a choice the developers made. And I don't know. And I don't think it's a good choice.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's a shame. Mystery games are fun, like, and what? It seems like it's very frustrating. Bummer. Franny, how about yourself? What else? You got into an adventure game recently, too. What have you been up to?
I just played through Norco.
Hell yeah.
And that was honestly very good. I think the only complaint I have about it is like, and this is more like an underhanded compliment, was that it's like too short,
Oh, okay.
Like I definitely wanted more of it. The ending felt a little abrupt, but still appropriate enough for the whole story itself. Excuse me, but like the setting was great. It had like this like, bayou gothic horror feel, and it had like a prodigal child and like industrial invasion with like with encroachment on local populations and local communities, with like really good and everyday commentary on like poverty and healthcare and ecological abuse and natural disasters and death and just kind of everything all rolled up into one. It's got like a Jesus Christ cult, displacement and diaspora, all sorts of stuff. And the like visual literacy of it is like so on point. Its technology is almost kind of like anachronistic, where it's like you do have like robots and you have AI and you have things like that, and people, putting memories and putting like partitions of their brain on like hard drives for like their families to look back on and stuff like that. But even the system surrounding that is like very much bogged down in like wealth and accessibility and stuff like that. There's a lot of great sound design that's like really minimalist, but it works for the whole setting. A lot of variety in like visually how characters are presented and like different ways of like how you interact with them. It's like there's also a CRT mode, which is really good. It feels like it's going to be too much. And then I put it on and then I didn't take it off for the rest of the game. It just kind of added something really nice.
Yeah.
It had a lot of good emotional beats and stuff. Like, I'm going to write a review about it and I'll like elaborate more on all of that. But it was like a really solid game. It could have had, like I said, maybe a little bit more elaboration on the ending or just something like that. But overall, there's a lot of little gems in it. Like, it was like the writing is really solid, really funny at times. It's very creative and it's like it presents you with a lot of different ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's like very, very short. You can knock this thing out in like an afternoon.
That's cool.
But it was so well developed and it had like a very clear tone that they really stuck to like the entire game.
Yeah, when it's something I definitely want to play at some point too. Like when I tried the demo of it when it was available, which I'm not sure if it was the actual like it might have been the actual beginning portion of the game or I don't know.
Yeah, just like chapter 1.
Yeah, I think it was just chapter 1. And what really got me about the writing too is how it was also like a very like alongside the many themes it explores you listed, but yeah, like in regards to trauma and how how sometimes we fill in things with our memory where the character at least the character you're controlling in that chapter, like, they were kind of like filling in they had, like there's this impression at first, am I playing amnesia? No, like, I know it's very much like a very natural progression of like someone filling in their own memory because they're either choosing not to remember or they're choosing to like, deliberately remember something else. And I think that was a very interesting, like the way, like again, it's like hard to describe what like that sort of style of writing where in a way you're filling in your own memory and like,
well, like part of it was like the mind map system, which I completely forgot to mention, was like you would hear snippets about things and it was almost kind of like a record of the things because it's like a point and click and you're trying to figure things out, right? So essentially there's like a mystery to be solved or like a few little mysteries all tied together. And so the mind map works as like, like a game progressing mechanic where it is part of like, oh, someone mentioned this and, you go into your mind map and you remember something about that person and also kind of as a record of what you've learned so far and a way to unlock, your new pathways of figuring something out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I kind of figure out the wording, like, and I guess like similar to how like Disco Elysium starts off, right, where you are kind of like learning about this character as you go. You are generating who or like solving this mystery of like who was I, like who was this person,
You're
based on like how you
tone.
And in this case, it was very justified too, and like I think made sense also more into context compared to other games where in Disco Elysium you're like you're fucking trash. You're like an alcoholic. Of course you have memory holes. But then in other games, you think about like literally like games where it's like okay you're just the amnesiac trope or like you're just generating characters as you go along because it's like okay. But like in this case, it was very apparent that this was coming from a source of trauma or like it was kind of resonating a lot with themes over like someone running away from something. And that was kind of also in its own way a mystery you're trying to solve. Like, okay, what was the motivation behind this? Like, what is like you the moment you get in the game, you feel like there's this weird sense of an urgency, and you don't know why immediately. And when you realize slowly more details, or probably you yourself fill in those details, whether or not they're true, I think that's quite an interesting unraveling of how the game like really develop like how the game develops and unfolds and how that story unfolds. Like you don't know what's going on, and yet you already feel anxious opening this game. As like a weird way to just explain it. Yeah, no, but it all makes sense. It like makes sense when you realize, oh okay, oh wow, all right, yeah, and I think it was handled very well from like again the very little I played of it. So I'm very much looking forward to how like more of that is like developed in the full game.
Well, and the beginning, like the premise of the game is like you're coming back to some place that you had like ran away from, and even in the beginning you can like decide like how you spent that time away basically. Yeah. And you're coming back because like the character's mom died, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like throughout, the first bit of game where you're like talking to people for the first time, and like catching up, you're kind of deciding how to feel about it, like how your character feels about it and feels about like their family, their missing brother and their mom's death and stuff like that. And I think, well, it doesn't necessarily change the course of the game. It's nice to kind of have, that sort of like character agency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have to have full control over what happens in a game, obviously. It doesn't have to be like a choose your own adventure, but it's nice to like have some kind of like foundational choices.
Right.
So you can, kind of better contextualize your playthrough and really get immersed in a lot of those emotional beats, like hit more because I did find myself like so immersed in the story and so like in the moment. So yeah, it was like really good.
All right. Glad to hear it. Glad that you're having a good time. Folks, I've been fucking around with a lot of gacha games recently because it's easy to play them at work.
Yeah.
During downtime,
Yeah.
I'm being a good boy. Okay? But when I'm just hanging out, I've been just futzing around with Arknights a lot, mostly. The thing that is frustrating about gacha games, though, is just because of how open-ended everything is, I always feel like I'm doing something wrong. I'm always like, should I be doing something different with my team? Should I be doing this upgrade instead of this upgrade? What am I doing wrong? I always feel like I'm doing something wrong. And that's the big thing that makes me drop gacha games a lot, is just feeling like I'm not doing the right thing. So, that's basically my big feelings. I will continue to try it, though, because I want to support I want to support Wheels. I keep seeing Wheels' like animations, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on in any of this. So
yeah, no, yeah.
I want to know what's going on in these animations, because Wheels puts so much effort into that. That's what I'm doing.
That's an important goal, I think. It's noble.
I mean, I don't have too much else to really say about it. I'm really early on, and the story isn't really, like, super grabbing me. It seems like a lot of the character interaction and stuff is all, like, in, like, dossiers and not really in, like, the actual story, which is kind of disappointing. I don't know. I'll keep playing it, and I'll see how it is, but, it's just something to kind of check in on. That's kind of it. I'm also messing around with the SMT one, though. I just recently I just recently got a really strong Mara with fucking Pierce physical, and so everybody better watch out, because my dick demon is gonna go around and kill everybody, and it's great.
Is this the Liberation?
Yes, DX2 Liberation.
I did play that briefly when it first came out. And then I just stopped. Like, not for any particular reason. Yeah. I was just like, I should. It's one of those mobile games like, oh, this needs a lot of investment. Quite honestly, It's a full game, honestly. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the thing, is that like a mobile game, for my needs at least, and maybe it seems like for yours as well, needs to be like enough of a game that it's interesting, but not too much of a game that, like, if you're not paying full attention to it, you kind of lose out on stuff. Because I think that is the big issue with DX2, is just like, it's a legit game. It's a
full game, yeah.
Yeah, you are paying attention to a lot of stuff in that game. And, like, that's cool in theory, and I respect that, but also, if I'm just, like, doing something in between ringing people up at a cash register, I can't put all my effort into that. But then also when I'm home, I have more like major games if I've got game time. I've got actual like full on games. So I have like an actual SMT game that I could be playing that's not a mobile game. So it's just all over the place. It's what it is.
I think the one thing I remember not liking about it was just how the interface was designed, because it's doing the thing that, all SMT games do, like, oh, just stylish as hell, like, graphic design and menus, and it's, like, so squished ass looking on a vertical screen. It's like, I just remember that being a struggle. I was like, what the fuck am I reading? Like, and, it's like all again, hard to describe in words, but if you look up screenshots, I think one would know what I mean, but it's just, it would be a nightmare if, like, for instance, you're, like, if you have dyslexia, I assure you this is a problematic game to read.
Probably,
yeah. Like the letters, they had to squish so many things and like stylize the menus in such a way where it's like, oh, this looks cool, but also, oh god, if the screen was slightly wider, this did not need to look this way. But
Arknights also has a bit of a problem that its text is a little small too, and I would say that is fully just their fault. Like they need to have bigger text. Like it's not like DX2 where it's just like, yeah, they were trying to do something here and I get it, but it's still just kind of squished. Like no, they have plenty of room. Make your text bigger. Yeah,
or like you did not need to do a weird fancy menu style. Just literally just put it in a box.
I ain't even talking about the menu in Arknights. That's fine, but like just like the story stuff, like
full on text blocks.
Yeah, I'm just like I gotta
oh man,
I gotta get my face up in there to read that shit, and it's just like it's a bit more tiring to try to keep up with the story.
Right.
Like it's got like really like that game has very gorgeous art. So I get they want to show it off, but also just make the fucking text a little bit bigger on the bottom of the screen, please.
Right.
If I can see the full art in they got like galleries and shit in the game. If I want to look at it, I can look at it. But yeah, there you go. Okay, last 2 bits of news here. This one is not tied to an official thing, but it is very funny. And kind of legit cool that I'm gonna mention it here. This is an update from the Crystal News Archive, from Blue Vixen News here, the most official update feed for news about Crystal from Star Fox. There has been a Half-Life 2 mod in development for seemingly a long time here, that replaces Alex with Crystal from Star Fox. And that's one thing. The other thing is they actually brought on Crystal's original voice actress to play Crystal in this. And she hasn't done like any voice acting since 2005. She's not even Crystal's current voice actress. I don't have the current one in front of me, but yeah, this is Estelle Ellis. She was Crystal just in Adventure, the first game that Crystal was in. They got her to do all of the lines in the game. They have her like re-releasing or they rewrote a lot of stuff too to like fit Crystal more. Like they didn't, like touch up anything for the other characters because it's not like they could bring in anyone else. But I mean, if they decided to just make this a full-on Star Fox mod, maybe they could just be like, yeah, here, Kleiner is played by Peppy and Gordon is Fox. I don't know. They could figure something out. But at least for now, they actually have a they have some other new things as well. They're saying that the mod will have additional features that everyone will just have to wait and see, and they are planning to release it on Star Fox Adventure's 20th anniversary, which is September 23rd of this year.
Oh.
So, I mean, fucking A.
Furries can do anything.
Yeah, for real.
They're the most capable people on the planet. They put their mind to something. Always make it happen.
I legitimately think it's cool that they were just like, hey, we brought on this woman who hasn't voice acted in a decade to reprise a role that she did once.
It's amazing.
And I mean, like, she's doing a good job in this too. Like, I'm no voice acting expert, but sounds like they gave her pretty good direction. She sounds pretty natural in the grand scheme of things. I mean, it is fucking crazy to see this giant blue fox woman talking to Dr. Kleiner, but it's here. It looks as good as it could be, just like, hey, here's Eli Vance, this like human man, like giving a fatherly embrace to Crystal from Star Fox. It's pretty good, honestly. All right, our last bit of news here is the big one. It's the big one.
The big one.
Hey, did anyone think that that this past week they were going to announce another fucking Kingdom Hearts?
I can't even remember when was the last one
Is
released?
that 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, it feels like last year, genuinely.
No, but that's also what's crazy about it, is like that this was like
I mean, yeah,
3
that's
had such a
quick
huge
turnaround.
gap between 2. And then now they're like,
Yeah.
Nomura is like 4. Why not? Sure. Let's go. Yeah.
I am no
Yeah,
Kingdom
what a
Hearts
morning.
expert here, so
Yes.
I'm going to tell you what I have heard about this and like what I'm seeing in these
Go
tweets
for it.
and what I think they mean. Okay, so
Mhm.
The code. A cracking
yeah,
code.
here. So Sora is like real now. I guess
Source is real.
I guess he died or somehow passed into the afterlife in 3. And he's now in a place called the Quadratum, which is just real life. Like, it's just real life. It's just Shibuya. And like people actually like doxed Sora almost immediately because they
someone found the apartment.
Yeah, they found the apartment that he wakes up in the beginning of the trailer, which is very funny. And there's a character called Strelitsa who is there, who is, I guess, the girl in the trailer, who is, from what I can gather from the mobile game, the cross key, the key, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know.
Yeah,
Donald and Goofy are there. It's at a point, which, you know, so they're not completely.
They're looking for him. Yeah.
They are trying to find him. Some stuff is going down here. So also, Nomura said in an interview that he wanted to call this Verum Rex because that is like the name of the game that was like what Final Fantasy Versus 13 was originally going to be, and then that got turned into Final Fantasy 15, and then, you know, Nomura made Kingdom Hearts 3 and now 4, and so it seems like what he wanted to do for Verum Rex is what Kingdom Hearts 4 is now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I don't know what that really means. I don't know.
I don't either.
I mean, I know that you at least are somewhat of a fan of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
LV. How do you feel about all this?
I'm a player and fan of the main series. I'm not that familiar with all the insane like spin-offs and side story games, which kind of adds to the convolution that people make fun of, like, what the fuck is the story of this franchise? My understanding is that, the Verum project was probably going to be a separate thing, and it was very clear that there was going to be inevitably a 4. But I don't know if on record yet Nomura has said it, but a lot of people felt like 3 was just going to be the conclusion of Sora's arc, too.
That's what it
So
seemed
if there was going to be a
like.
4... If there was going to be a 4, like, it was going to be some, you know, people would have theorized it was going to be a focus on someone else. So, yeah, I don't even fucking know what's going on. But that said, people doxing Sora's apartment is extremely funny. There's like tons of theories floating around new too, but we're over like, okay, he's in the quote unquote real world now. And they're having statements, if he goes back to his actual universe, his own real world, his art style would revert back to what that is, to the like kind of Final Fantasy-esque character house style that Skurst, you know, has been doing. Where there's some realism, but they're not quite real, right?
So are you saying that if Donald and Goofy show up in this world, they're going to just be like
Donald
a real
might be just
duck?
a real duck.
A real
Maybe.
dog.
Who knows?
Yeah,
really
that'll-
scary.
I want to
That'd be really
see
funny
that,
if they commit to that.
Or like hyper realistic
Oh,
and like really
like a creepypasta description, yeah. Hyper realistic eyes.
so the other big
I don't
thing,
know.
the other big thing that people are talking about here, though,
The
is that
theories.
Marvel
and Star Wars stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's the big story theories, but there's also the fact that this is the Kingdom Hearts game that is coming out where Disney has full ownership of Marvel and Star Wars, and it seems like now is the time for them to pull the trigger.
They might explore that option. Yep.
there was a scene in the trailer that there was like a forest, and some people are like, "Oh, this looks like Endor."
Yeah, like screaming the Star Wars planet name.
They think it's Endor. They think they see an AT-AT foot in the shot. I mean, like, as someone who grew up as a big fan of Star Wars, and is maybe a little sick of all of that, I'm still kind of excited at the concept of Sora showing up in Star Wars.
I'm honestly not opposed to it either. At least Star Wars. If it's Marvel stuff, I'd be like, but Star Wars stuff, honestly, is something I can definitely embrace. And it'd be extremely funny for Sora to once again say a dumbass comment and be like, at a lightsaber, and be like, that's not a Keyblade. I don't know. I already immediately know what that scene is going to be like.
I want to see Sora with a lightsaber Keyblade. I want to see a lightsaber Keyblade real bad.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fucking sick.
The Marvel stuff, I don't care.
The Marvel stuff, I'd be like, I don't want to deal with
whatever.
that.
That's
but Star
not as
Wars,
likely.
I'm okay with that.
Pretty much ever, I think.
A little monopoly here.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Yeah. I mean, come on, like, just looking back when, like, fucking, like, Darth Vader was in Soul Calibur, that was just, come on, it's just that same thing. Like, why not? Just fucking throw everyone in. But, like, yeah, I mean, it's something that makes sense. But yeah, just no idea, like, what are the implications going on here. I don't know why Sora died again.
Here's my question, and again, I don't know if this is, I don't know if this is really like an interesting question, but what era of Star Wars do you think they'll pull from? Because I feel like the original trilogy would be easy, just be like, here's Luke, here's Han, here's Leia, you could just do that. But then, like, you think about it from, like, a marketing standpoint.
The recent stuff.
And it's
the
like,
recent stuff.
They would want to do the recent stuff, but, like, the recent trilogy is kind of, like, spoiled. Like, people don't like it so much.
Yeah, it's, like, divisive.
You would really pull people in with, like, Luke, Leia, Han, that sort of thing. Like, old...
But then if they want to do something recent, do you think that they would just straight up have fucking Mando in there? Like, honestly, I think that'd be cool.
Great.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. But yeah,
they might. Yeah. He's been really popular.
That is definitely a very interesting challenge that they probably have to like explore. So here's what I can imagine they will do. I think they might lean towards Mando stuff, but they probably will not lean towards the Rey trilogy. Mm-hmm. But I can see the Mando stuff and like those spin-offs, and there's definitely especially the Lego Star Wars, the new Lego Star Wars game came out too, and like a lot of people are playing that and like having a fun time with that. Right, but that's its own thing, that's its own contained thing. I think, but I definitely agree that I think they're going to lean towards newer stuff. What they can do, if they're going to re-explore, young Luke and Leia, they're going to do that with another side game. They're going to fucking do it. And because that's what they did with Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep takes place, is essentially the technical, it is the prequel to the main series, the main Kingdom Hearts games, where they're exploring things like, Vex and like Ventus, like the original, not the original, but like the Keyblade wielders before Sora and Riku and Kairi and all those. Or so another prequel game potentially. Or
they could do the Star Wars prequels. They could do like young Anakin.
Oh yeah, they could even potentially go for. You're right. Yeah. I don't know. They might,
Because say what you will about the prequels, but like people look back on them.
There's a resurgence for them right now. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And mostly because people love Ewan McGregor and like as they should. And mostly for young Obi-Wan, really.
I mean, they're doing that new Obi-Wan series.
Yeah, they are, and that's why. No, you're right.
What era would vibe with Kingdom Hearts the most?
Yeah.
I mean, like
I know it's not like strictly a family-friendly thing, but like, what would vibe with it?
Like original Star Wars. Okay, so here's the thing: original Star Wars is like a very basic hero's journey thing, so I think that fits. But like, if we're talking about like, I don't want to say like edgy or anything, but like the kind of just like goofy, like no, I don't want to say edgy, but like that's the thought that's coming up. But like, I feel like the prequels line up with how Kingdom Hearts is a lot. Like, I can so clearly imagine Sora swinging the Keyblade around and cutting all of Riku's arms and legs off and leaving him in the lava pit, Like, I can see that in my mind's eye. That matches with what... Yeah, pod racing. Yeah, you could just put a gummy ship in the pod racing. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I
Oh
don't know
my
too
God.
much about Kingdom Hearts, so I might be someone who is very into it is probably listening to this right now. Like, you fool!
No,
No.
I agree with you. It is actually difficult. It is difficult because there always was this hamminess to Star Wars 2 that's just like, well, this kind of honestly fits perfectly with Kingdom Hearts in general. Like, I could easily see, again, like, you know, like how Sora has this special, like, party member in each role. Like, he can easily be young Obi-Wan, or it could be young Luke Skywalker. And they can still work. Like, it's just, that's definitely gonna be interesting to see. Or Mando. It could just be Mr. Mando. Like that, and you got the little baby boy there, yeah.
Young Anakin, we see his
child.
We see his young, but we see his rise and subsequent fall, but in like the context of Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, like seeing photorealistic Hayden Christensen as like crying as he realizes that he killed Padme and Goofy is there, you know, like
Goofy is there.
Sora just like
they get Hayden Christensen.
They're in the room.
Don't
Goofy,
you worry about it.
Twist it. Goofy and Donald are in that room where she dies. Donald's trying to like save her.
He's using like cure spells.
Yeah,
and it's not working. Her heart is too broken.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then she starts to
You know, that does actually vibe with Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, after they take the babies away, so it's safe. So she can turn Star. But yeah, like it's just Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
It writes itself.
Luke and Leia, you are not just Jedi.
Oh
you are not
my
just
God.
force sensitive. You are also Keyblade wielders. Oh man.
Oh
We
no,
got it.
it is. Oh, it lines up.
It's so good.
It's perfect.
Perfect. Mwah.
They know who to
It's the
call.
alternate universe we all deserve.
So yeah, again, Marvel, who cares? Star Wars, let's fucking do it. I'm so ready. I guess I will also ask though, other than those two big things, are there any like recent or any other like Disney properties that you would want to see in Kingdom Hearts? The one that I thought of, it's kind of two, but I would love to see like maybe Inside Out or Soul, like just like I would love to see like Kingdom, at the very least, like something kind of inspired by that, because I'm just thinking about like the other Pixar ones that came out recently, like Toy Story and Monsters Inc., and how they like played with the art style. I would love to see like Sora, Donald, and Goofy in that like Inside Out art style, and you know like Sora could be like hope, and Donald could be frustration, and Goofy could be like silliness or whatever, you know, like the different emotions. That'd be cute. I would love to see a world just like based on another one of the like Pixar sorts of things. You know, I would love to see. I haven't seen Turning Red, so I don't recall the main girl's name, but like
May.
She could be a cool summon. You know, just like the big red panda. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I could see it in Kanto.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like aesthetically, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
There's characters with a bunch of different powers. I mean, I could see it working.
And Kanto would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely see the possibility of Luca being a world. Again, there's like a whole lot there where it'd be interesting where Luca's interesting because they do not like focus a lot on the underwater world where the main characters come from. It actually it very much jumps right into them being like outsiders. You know, and again, it's very much a story about like accepting outsiders and ostracization, and like they very much just jump into that immediately. But we don't really like understand, or I mean not understand, but we don't really settle in or like get immersed at all in like what their little undersea world at all. And that'd be there's like two possibilities there where you know, there could easily be like two phases to that world of like you know, Sora going further into like the place they came from, and then basically just this Italy coastal town. It's just Italy, just Italian Sora. Like I'm sorry, Italian Sora. But it's just Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about Star Wars Kingdom. I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about what we came up with when Padme just fucking died, and Donald Duck struggling to save her, and she goes, "That's just still fucking good." But Luca is definitely a possibility in terms of like I think maybe actually even being a full-on world, and that can make sense. But can also just see the two boys, just little gremlin children, little two rascals being summons as well, and that can be fun. Maybe working similar to how the Little Mermaid Ariel worked, where again because they're essentially just the same similar creatures, right? And that could be fun. For
a more old Disney film, I'm honestly still shocked that they haven't done a Lilo and Stitch world yet. Like, I would love for them to just do that.
Yeah, Stitch was a summon. Though. But yeah, Lilo and Stitch would be interesting. I think it's like kind of iffy or like tricky to do stuff like that where like those are very much like settings. This is just a real setting.
It's just a real place.
This is just Hawaii. Kind of similar with Turning Red, where I think it's more appropriate that May would possibly be a fun summon, but I don't. Yeah. Toronto. Canadian Sora, like I don't know what you can do there. Like I
mean, they did that like, Big Hero 6 thing where it was like the San Francisco, which is like the cross. But yeah, I mean, like Hawaii is just like a place. It is not like a fictionalized version of the place.
And
it is
that
just
might be
the
a little,
place.
Yeah, that's a little problematic to just.
You're right.
Yeah, like,
you're right.
Yeah, romanticize it. Like it's,
you're right. Yeah,
but. I think, like, in terms of Lilo and Stitch, like, there's definitely, like, I guess because they're also not as popular, not as well received, but, like, the kind of, like, the spin-offs to do with Lilo and Stitch and all this stuff, like, exploring the alien world Stitch came from.
Sure,
but
yeah,
those are things not
absolutely.
explored at all, even in those properties. So that would be something that Kingdom, like, they would have to entirely create from scratch, that would be an entirely original idea. Which is kind of what they did with the Tron world, where, like, they were very much exploring parts of Tron that, like, this was not in the movie at all, and, like...
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh, yeah, speaking of Tron, that would be interesting if they would do Tron Legacy at all. Like,
that's true.
Yeah.
Daft Punk coming back for Kingdom Hearts 4.
They have to. To do one song for that specific level.
I think they would.
I'd lose it.
Is the thing.
I'd absolutely lose it.
Yeah, these are all good ideas for sure.
Absolutely.
I swear that the Padme death scene does not happen. They need to call us. They gotta. You gotta do this.
Gotta do it.
It's insane. Sora has to sit down and like all those like kind of like drawn out, boring political council talks, and that's just a lot. He has to sit in the chair.
The big floating chair.
Yeah.
It's good.
With young Yoda. Oh my god. What was that weird female Yoda? Yordle?
Yaddle.
What was going on? Yaddle? Yeah. Okay.
Yaddle?
Yaddle, yeah.
God, fucking Yoda.
From what?
In the prequels, they showed like wasn't the prequels or they showed like
it was in the prequels,
female.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a
random
girl Yoda named Yaddle.
Yeah. Her name was Yaddle.
Holy shit.
We got all three genders covered: man, woman, and child. Yeah. Finally. Oh my god. I mean, like honestly, just like I kind of have a feeling they're gonna go for Mando just because like it would be immediate. It would be an immediate cheap pop to have Sora be like, we gotta protect Grogu, like. That sort of thing.
I think as far as like newer Star Wars iterations goes, like the whole Mandalorian thing has been the most popular.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then again, so like the original trilogy is the fucking it is A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Like it's the definitive stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mando has a lot of room to be also more freeform.
Totally,
it's like
yeah.
Very much, yeah. So again, they can play a lot with that and make an original concept there, where it still revolves around, babysitting this child, but also kind of similar to what I think about like going to Kingdom Hearts 1. Well, like how the Alice in Wonderland stage was, where they had to like make an entirely new and figure out conceive of like a level design that was just not just like, okay, this is a weird world, so we're just gonna make do this whole thing that the Disney's film did not do. How do we take those concepts and make it just an original level? And they can do a lot with there. For Mando, or to have just they have a lot of different options in different Star Wars worlds they can make an entirely original level out of.
It's a lot going on in the world of Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I'm excited to see. Yeah, a little too much. But all right, I think that about does it for this week's episode. I am looking, we do not have any questions, so we can just go ahead and move on to wrapping up. Thank you both for being on.
Yeah.
And thank you all for listening. If you want to support us, you can go to videogamechoochoo.com and check out all the stuff that we're doing, the final preparations for the site relaunch are in the process. It's, it's not, I can't give a date or anything yet, but we're working on it. It's happening. It's real. I know we keep saying it, but I promise it is. It's happening.
We're not gaslighting. It is real.
No, it's happening. You can follow us on Twitter at VGChoochoo. You can follow us on Tumblr at VGameChoochoo.com. You can follow us on Tumblr at VGameChoochoo.tumblr.com. Go to Facebook.com/VideoGameChoochoo if you like Facebook. I know I don't. I have mixed feelings.
We won't hold it against you.
Look,
it is a place if someone is on there, yes.
Look, shit's crazy on there.
It is. It's scary.
It's crazy.
Very scary.
We have our Twitch, twitch.tv/VGChoochoo. We've been kind of just doing random streams recently. I know Scott likes to just hop on there and play some, I think he recently did some, Elden Ring PvP. So we might just be doing some random stuff on there. So subscribe if you're interested in making sure that you're there when we're doing stuff. And if you really like what we do, we have our Patreon, patreon.com/VGCC. Give us $3, and then we'll post stuff a whole week early for you, such as our anime podcast that LV and I do with Rose and Maverick called Unlimited Railworks. We recently did a real nice long episode just like this about the last spring season, the start of the summer season, the spring season, whatever season it is, all the new stuff that's been coming out. We couldn't even get through all of it. That's how crazy this anime season is. And come hang out with us in the GameZone.zone. That's our Discord server. You type that into your web browser and it'll bring straight there. Trying to be a little more active in there recently, just trying to have some voice chats and hanging out with folks. So hey, come check it out if you want. And of course, thank you to Melt Channel / Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. Want to support their stuff and listen to all their music? It's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. And their new album, Please Stay Connected, was that came out pretty recently. If you like VTubers, they had a bunch of the VShojo girls on there singing. Check that out if you enjoy it. Franny, where can people find you?
I'm pretty much everywhere at A Real Goldmouth. Pretty much mostly on Twitter, but I also do a lot of wrestling stuff on my Twitter. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much where I am mostly.
All right. Good to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And LV, what about you? Where can we find you?
You can also find me on Twitter at LVMAEPARIAN. I'm there. I'm chatting. I'm tweeting.
You are.
I'm posting. I'm around. I'm someone who's kind of also been super active on the server more recently too. We're trying our best to probably have more community related stuff. So if people also have suggestions, you can probably just say something. I don't know. Just say something.
Say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should definitely play some online games. I was thinking about maybe doing some Melty Blood Actress again in the server sometime.
Mm-hmm.
That might be fun.
If you're on our server, you notice that I put out a poll and hopefully we're probably going to do more of those. For some for fun, but obviously this first one was clear to gauge, and it seems like a lot of people get their information about us through Discord. So that's definitely something we would like to put more effort into.
Yes,
having
absolutely.
more fun things happen there too. Yeah.
You can find me at JOHN_MICHONSKI. And that is it. Oh, well, that's on Twitter also, I should. And that is it, folks. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. So long.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.